In this video, we're going to have a look at subnetting of class A and B networks. We already know how to subnet class C. And we're also going to have a look at supernetting. All right, now before we do that, let's just have a look at the default subnet masks for class A, B, and C. Class A's default subnet mask is 255.0.0.0. Right, so 255.0.0.0. Class B, 255.255.0.0, and class C, obviously, 255.255.255.0. Okay, now, if we were subnetting in class C, let's say we wanted 4 networks, okay? We'd work out how many bits we needed to get to 4, right? That's 0 to 3. Right, that's enough. Why? Because 0 is one network, 1 is one network, 2 is one network, and 3 is one network. So 0 to 3 actually gives you your 4 networks. And we'd say we need 2 bits, right? Those 2 bits have to go in here, 1, 2. Everything else becomes 0 or stays 0. Right, so you end up with a subnet mask of 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Right, and that becomes 192. How do I get that? 128 plus 64. All right, and obviously plus 0 for the rest of them. Okay, so we end up with 192, and our subnet mask becomes 255.255.255.192. All right, but what happens when we're looking at class B? So we've got class B over here, right? 255.255.0.0. All right, so let's take an example, and let's say we've got a network in the class B. Let's make it 172.16.0.0. All right, I chose 172.16 because it's a private IP address range. So 172.16.0.0. All right, and let's say I wanted to subnet that into 10 subnetworks. All right, the way it works is exactly the same as with class C. So I've got my table up here. I'm not going to write it all out because I only want to get to 10. All right, and to get to 10, I need 1, 2, 3, 4 bits. Okay, that's 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1, which gives me 15. And that accommodates for my 10 networks that I want, or 10 subnets in this class B network. So just like in class C, these ones, remember, get moved onto this end. But in class B, the zeros start here. So we don't add the ones here, we start adding the ones up here. Okay, so in this case, 4 ones, right? So those ones have to go up here, 4, right? So they end up here, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so when I move my ones up there, let's just have a look at this in the table. Well, this becomes 2 to the 5, 6, and 7. So that becomes 32, 64, 128. 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 0, 0, 0. Just like this up here, right? And 128 plus 64 is 192. Plus 32 is 224, plus 16 is 240. So this equates to 240 up here. Okay, so your subnet mask becomes 255, 255, 240, 0. Okay, that's simple. So instead of putting the ones in the last octet, which we do for class C, the ones start going in the third octet. All right? And similarly, if I had the exact same example, but it was a class A, so let's say instead of 172 over here, I had 10.0.0.0, and I still wanted 10 subnets, I'd do it the exact same way. I'd work out how many bits I needed to get to 10, which was 4 bits. I'd take those bits and I'd put them up on the left-hand side, right, over there, just like this, right, 4 ones, except those 4 ones now go up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And in that octet, they still represent 240. 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16, which gives you 240. So your 240 comes up here. All right, and your subnet mask becomes 255.240.0.0. All right, and it's that simple. Okay, so the only difference really is you're moving the octet, which becomes the first octet that is affected. In class A, you start with the second octet. All right, in class B over here, you start with the third octet. And in class C, you start with the last octet. All right, and it's really that simple. The only difference comes in when you need to subnet with numbers larger than 255 or 256. Okay, so let's say, for example, you want to subnet a class B network, right? And you wanted, let's say, 500 networks, okay, which you can't do with a class C, because class C only gives you numbers from 0 to 255, right? But with class B, you've got 2 octets to work with. All right, so let's have a look at an example like that. All right, so I've cleaned this up just so it looks a bit easier. All right, let's have a look at our class B subnet mask, which is by default 255.255.0.0. Okay, we want 500 networks, we said. Remember, 500 networks. All right, now if I look at my binary table here and I go 1, 3, 7, 15, 31, 63, 127, and then 255, right? That's not enough to give us our 500 networks that we require. So we've actually got to go upwards here to 2 to the power of 8, 2 to the power of 9, and you can carry on going, but we don't need it for now. All right, so 2 to the power of 8 is 256, and 9 is 512. Right, so if I take one more bit here, that takes me up to a value of 511, right, which is enough. Right, so 511 is enough for our 500 networks that we require. How do I get 511? Very simple. 256 plus 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. And you can throw that into a calculator if you want. Right, that should give you 511. So now we need how many bits? We need 9. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, 9 bits. Remember, it stops at 2 to the power of 8, but you're starting at 0, so those are 9 bits that you require. These are 9 network bits. So if I look at the top here, right, on my subnet mask, right, those 9 ones go in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, and whatever's left, stay zeros. All right, so all ones in a octet obviously equate to 255, right? And 1 1 there is our octet, so a 1 over there gives you 128. All right, so our subnet mask here 500 networks becomes 255.255.255.128. And it's literally that simple, right? Now, if you remember, if I asked you for hosts instead of networks, right, do it in exactly the same way, except remember when you're calculating the number, if I said 500 hosts instead of 500 networks, these ones that we're looking at for our networks, remember, exactly the same. You'd work out how many bits you need to get to 500, which is right there, right? But all of these would become host bits because we're looking at 500 hosts. All right, so if we were looking at 500 hosts instead of networks, right, those ones would actually become zeros, and whatever's left, right, going that way would become ones or network bits. So in the example above, right, instead of this, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 9 zeros. Where do I get the 9 zeros? Right here. All right, so 0, and then 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. All right, and that gives us 255. Oh, let me just clean this up here. 255, 255 dot, this would be 254.0. How do I get 254? All you have to do is work out what these ones give you in an octet. So basically down here, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ones, all right, and the rest of them are zeros. Okay, remember you needed 9 zeros, so there's the 1 0 in the third octet and 8 zeros in the fourth octet, which give you your 9 zeros, which we calculated earlier. All right, and that's it. So your subnet mask there becomes 255.255.254.0. All right, and subnetting class A is exactly the same, except instead of working with or starting work with the second octet, you start work with the, instead of starting work with the third octet, you start working with the second octet in a class A. All right, so class A default subnet mask, remember, would actually be 255.0.0.0. All right, so that's how you would subnet class A and class B. All right, very straightforward. I'm going to give you some examples in a supplemental video, and we'll go through the answers to that. Practice with this in the meantime. All right, if you have any issues, please feel free to comment. All right, and we can work on a few alterations or amendments to this video. All right, in the meantime, right, have a look, practice, and have a look at the video on supplemental information and examples.